mind.
You were right. I was waiting to hit the button.
Nikki's just walked in the door.
Hi, Nikki.
Mike says hi. Can you see me? Yeah, you can see me. Okay, never mind. Yeah. What's up, boys and girls? This is the Chris and Mike Show. I'm Chris. He's Mike. And today with us is Matt Melvin. Should we call you Eminem for short, or is that just, you get that all the time?
I don't get it all the time, but you can identify me as that if you like.
We'll just call you
I'm
Matt,
Eminem
man.
too, buddy.
Oh, that's right. Mike Michaels and Matt Melvin. I'm the oddball here. Just the CD, man. What's up with that? So welcome to the show, Matt. How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
Welcome, Matt.
Right on. Yeah, we're good,
Doing
man.
well. Better now.
So your story's an interesting one. So we're just going to let you kind of, lay some background. You were in prison for a while?
I did 2 stints in prison.
Two
The first
stints
was
in prison.
2004, and the second
Okay.
was in 2016.
So walk us
okay.
up what led to the
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah, what led to the first one?
I worked at a car dealership, Freedom Nissan on Shelburne Road in South Burlington, Vermont,
What
Okay.
year?
2004.
Yeah, we're gonna make it kind of we want you to lead us up into it, like how life was going, if you were involved in any chaos, if you were involved with drugs, all that kind of stuff. What we want the whole
However much
picture.
you're comfortable with the backstory.
Sure, true, because not everybody's going to understand certain things that you talk about. So we want to make sure we cover all the bases with your story, because we actually, obviously we want to share and get your point across. And there's a message, I'm sure, at some point in time here that you're going to want to convey. So like Mike said, okay, so back in
Do me a favor
2004.
real quick, Chris Dunham.
What's that, Mike?
Do me a favor.
Sure.
Oh, it just stopped. I was going to have
Okay.
you tilt your camera down a hair.
My
The,
camera down
the
there.
ghost was at it again. I was going to have
Oh,
a
really?
seizure.
Oh, weird. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so if you want to start there, Matt, just lead us up into how
Yeah.
you ended up in prison the first time.
Absolutely.
I was just going to backtrack a little bit.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
The stealing the car wasn't my first brush with the law.
Okay.
There were other instances: walking out of restaurants without paying, driving off
Oh.
without paying for gas.
Oh.
Those were speeding, driving 130 on the highway.
Wow.
I don't believe that most people just one day commit a
crime.
higher level crime. It
agreed.
starts with smaller level crime.
Agreed.
And
Yeah.
the person, for me, like it's a thrill. Like driving 130, it's a rush. Driving off without paying for gas, it's a rush.
Yeah.
Not walking out of a restaurant without paying. They're all rushes. Get it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
as a man, we like that adrenaline rush. Much
Mhm.
like when you guys are playing that heavy music, I'm sure you get a rush too.
100%.
Yeah.
I had gotten away with it. So, go big or go home, I guess is sort of the frame of mind. And I really had anger issues, hatred issues, frustration issues that hadn't been addressed properly. I was being bullied, feeling like an outcast. And then I come to work at this car dealership. They mistreat me.
Oh, you were working at the dealership?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that part. I'm sorry.
So how were they mistreating you? What were they doing?
Other guys were jumping in front of me. It's supposed to be a round robin where everybody gets their chance. Other guys were jumping up in front. It's
Okay.
the car dealership is a very passive aggressive type of
Okay.
mentality, and if you're
I
not
sold instruments, so I know that the commission business can be rough when you're competing with other people for sure.
Yes.
It gets
Yeah,
wicked. I know exactly what you're talking
to
about.
10 other people.
Yep.
At a dealership here, some of the dealerships you might be competing against 20, 25 other men and women.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I jumped in the gauntlet and tried to sell one of their cars because they didn't pay me my commissions. That was in 2004.
Yeah.
I got caught.
Oh.
How soon after?
Yeah.
Hours. Literally, it was. I mean, they were tracking me. They knew
Really?
what was going on.
Wow.
It was not. I mean, the vehicles are tracked heavily. I mean, they're even tracked much more heavily today than they were
Sure.
21 years ago.
That's how GPS knows how to tell you where to go.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They know where you're at too.
Right.
At all given times. Okay. So the vehicle that you stole, did you just drive it off the lot and sell it? You were selling it to a second party? Like a third
Tried
party?
to sell it to another car dealership.
Oh.
Oh no.
That wasn't very smart, Matt.
Okay, real quick. Where was your mindset in that?
Yeah.
Because instantly I'm like, I would not have done that.
Yeah. Right.
Walk me through that.
Yeah.
I thought I could get away with it. I had gotten away with
How
other.
old were you when this happened?
I was 23.
Okay.
That's
and how old
harder.
are you now?
I am 44.
Okay.
Okay, that explains a lot because your
Yeah.
frontal cortex is not fully formed until you're 25, so I can forgive some of this.
Yes.
Right.
I get it now.
And just so you know, it isn't ironic that in the current judicial system,
Okay.
folks that commit crimes before 25, a lot of times are granted the ability to have their crimes committed up until the age of 25 expunged. After that,
Oh.
I should preface that is for non-violent offenders.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
It's not, if you commit murder at 23, they don't excuse it. So
Right.
I just want to preface that. So
Right.
it's not by coincidence that this stuff happens.
Okay. Okay. That's good to know. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
So they sent you to prison on your first offense, or had you been in jail before, so to speak?
No, I
Were
never
you-
been in jail.
Okay.
Never
And
been.
they
in-
did you, and they sent you to prison for your first offense?
Yeah, so you get arrested that night. What happens from that point forward?
I
You're-
did 18 months.
Wow.
So you went in front of the judge and he just gave you a year and a half, just straight up, this is going to be your sentence.
It's Jeffrey
Wow.
Crawford, same judge in the federal case.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
at that time, the state had a mental health court. But
Okay.
Jeffrey Crawford, the judge, and Bob Wolford both decided I didn't meet the criteria to go through the mental health court, even though I'd seen about 25, 30 therapists.
Oh my.
So I read some of your backstory
Mm.
when you submitted. I love that now.
Yeah,
That's
that was
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
I agree with you, and I know you're going to get to this, but instantly I got rage because you're 23 years old. You've never been in trouble with the law. Granted, you grand theft, you stole a car, but nobody died. There's murderers, serial killers, rapists. There's all kinds of violent criminals, which we just discussed.
Mm-hmm.
So explain the mental health option that your state had that they chose not to use.
In Vermont, they have a mental health court where a defendant like myself can go through. It's similar to drug court, except there's not the testing. There's not the drug
Yeah.
testing but there is the mental health therapy component to that.
Is it outpatient or is it someplace you go to serve a sentence like you would in a prison?
That's a good question. No, you come to court on a weekly basis to check in, make sure that the offender, myself or whomever, has not committed another crime. And provided that you don't pick up any other crimes and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, mental health counseling, then as soon as it's done, then your record is expunged.
So you're being heavily monitored, and you probably have to go through X amount of classes, and if you miss one deal, you're in prison, right?
I don't want to speculate on something that I don't know, Mike.
I'm guessing that's probably how it works.
I would guess because in drug, if you test positive once, you're done.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what kind of prison did they send you to in lieu of this better option?
2 Vermont prisons, which Vermont prison is not what federal prison is like.
Okay.
To me, it's a little bit of a...
Go ahead.
I don't know if I'd say country club, but somewhere in between. It's certainly not a...
The Vermont one?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a lot better than some of the other prisons in other states that I've seen when I did my 18 months the second time in federal prison.
Okay. We had a guy on a couple weeks ago that was in prison a couple times. We had some fun with him as far as the I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for, Mike? The imaginative way, is that right? The imaginative way they made food, like ramen burritos. Are you familiar with ramen burritos?
I'm familiar with very strange things that people...
Tell us about some, because we were fascinated with that.
I didn't eat any of it.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't think I would eat it anyway. So prison food's nasty, right?
The thing, you don't know what else is in it that they're not telling you about.
The prison food, or ones that are making the homemade food?
The inmates that are making the food in the pots.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see that.
And Don seemed like that was his cellmate, right? And they were pretty tight. Yeah. So he trusted the guy. I think that's...
Well, they were probably making it together, you know.
Yeah.
How long were you when you're in prison, was it kind of like a white collar type prison to where you had, you know,
No.
you weren't okay, so you
not
were locked
a white collar.
Okay.
No, this is everybody and their brother.
You're in there with violent criminals?
Okay.
Yes, absolutely, no question.
General
23
population?
hours a day lockdown? Okay. 23 hours a day lockdown type thing? Like in your cell, or how was that?
The first time, no.
Okay.
I was pretty much allowed in general population. They tried putting me in the mental health unit. Unfortunately, the mental health units usually turn out to be the sex offender unit.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Because is that just because their attorney's kind of spinning? Oh, he's not competent, because for him to do that type of thing, he's got to be wacky.
Yes.
Well, that's bullshit.
So usually, and I've seen this both in Vermont and then in the federal system, that when I would get into the mental health unit, I would be surrounded by a whole bunch of white old guys that were sex offenders. And then I would be labeled as a sex offender. And then I would become a target.
Oh, fuck. That sucks, man. That's terrible. So were you constantly kind of looking over your shoulder because of just...
I was, absolutely, no question.
Wow.
So you ended up guilty by association?
Yes.
But you weren't associated. That's just how it looked to them.
To do with them, absolutely.
Of course.
Despicable.
Yeah, that's awful, man. So how long of your sentence did you have to endure that kind of terror in your mind every day?
A good portion of it.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah.
That could break a person.
Yeah.
Oh, and how long was this initial stint in 2004? 18 months, right?
That was 18 months. And then the second time was 18 months. Same judge, Jeffrey Crawford, in both the state and the federal. Yeah. I don't think this would ever happen in any other state.
Did Jeffrey just not like you?
Ernie's state.
Did Jeffrey just not like you?
Yeah. What was Jeffrey's deal? Was he old?
He was old, yes. He was a very strange individual. I'll never forget when he sentenced me the second time. He said, "Mr. Melvin, if you ever see me on Church Street," which is this outdoor shopping place, "feel free to come up and shake my hand." And I thought to myself, first of all, you would probably never be on Church Street. That's like Bernie Sanders saying, if you ever see me, come and shake my hand.
Right.
Well, it wouldn't be to shake your hand.
Yeah. Fuck you, Jeffrey.
Wow.
And I only ask because he's old before everybody crucifies me for that.
Yeah.
Because I had to go to court for 2 sets of tickets that I got for no insurance and no registration. And this guy, without saying the words, basically told me if he could lock me away, he would. That's how seriously he took my offense. Because apparently I was flippant about the way I was acting in court, you know. He was about 89 years old. And he's reading me the riot act over a couple traffic citations, basically, because they were 2 weeks apart, right? That's why I'm asking that question, because he was a crotchety old man, and that's the way your guy sounded.
He was, but not to mention that he, you know, had gotten into his position by convictions. I mean, that's how people, judges, lawyers, cops move up within their cults, is by convictions.
Yeah.
That's a true story.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a
And so he moved up that ladder.
Yeah, he had gotten nominated 2 years ago, 2 years before that, by drunk former Senator Patrick Leahy.
Wow, man.
Now, how long was the stint? How did you end up in federal prison?
Yeah.
That's a good question. 2009, I couldn't pass a background check.
Okay.
I used other people's information to try to get work. I did the work, but I just used other people's social security card and driver's license.
Gotcha.
The government pursued me for 6 years.
Wow.
Even
You were
though
a fugitive.
the statute of limitations that runs out at 5. They
That's
went
crazy,
to 10 different grand juries, spent about $500,000.
Wow.
Finally got a grand jury indictment. Now you have to remember that a grand jury will indict a ham sandwich, and a grand jury has in the federal system there's a 96% conviction rate. 96.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
That's insane.
So you have to have like straight up like. So how did OJ get off, man?
He had a lot of money and good lawyers.
What's supposed to say?
He bought.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You gotta have the money. You gotta have the deep pockets. Wow. 96%. So even if you had,
but OJ was in trouble in the state, not the feds.
Oh, I got you. Oh, so why were you in trouble with the feds because of the using other people's social security cards and stuff?
They charged me with aggravated identity theft and money laundering.
Across state lines, because that's the only way feds can get involved.
I guess. I don't know.
Probably because you were paying into the social security system. I'm guessing that's why they got involved.
What's
Social Security,
aggravated
Medicare.
identity theft, man?
Yeah.
How many times did you do it? Like, how many identities did they claim that?
A fair number.
Okay.
Wow.
But you have to remember, I was always doing the work.
Yeah.
And my attorney, who was a private attorney, Paul Volk, had been practicing defense lawyer for 35 years. He'd never seen a case where a defendant was so brutally gone after when there was no victim loss and there was no victim impact statement at sentencing.
Wow.
Because
that is crazy.
None of that.
In a fraud case, there is loss. There's a significant amount of loss.
Yeah, nobody showed up and said, Matt screwed me out of X, Y, and Z, right? There was nobody there.
Not even one. And the prosecutor, Michael Drescher, well, guess what he's doing today? He's now the U.S. attorney for the state of Vermont.
You didn't give me a chance. I wanted to say he's a judge or a United States something or other.
Let me backtrack a little bit about that. Michael Drescher was originally assigned to the case. He then assigned somebody else, and then he came back. And I can't remember the lawyer's name who was in between. It's irrelevant. It doesn't really matter. But again, you have to understand, this is not normal the way things work. Normally, whoever's assigned the case is on the case for the entire time.
Wow.
So where did they send you this time?
That's insane, man.
10 different institutions.
10?
You know what to do with me. I wrote hundreds and hundreds of grievances, which is the complaint system. I was raped. The inmates tried to say to the guards that I tried to proposition them. And
this happened when you went to federal prison? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
Brooklyn it happened.
Wow.
So you had none of these problems in the state other than they associated you with something you weren't?
Correct. The only issue I had in the state was they put me in the mental health unit and I got identified as a sex offender.
Sure.
I was not. I was only so let me backtrack a few, 1 second. I was assaulted very early on because I was in a dormitory type unit in the gym in Chittenden County.
Oh, okay.
That was before you went to prison, though, right?
But other than that, it was not even close to what it was in the federal system.
So what happened when you got there? Where was the first place that they sent you, and did it happen there? Or?
The first place I went was St. Albans.
Which is?
In Vermont.
Okay.
Because I was still going to court.
Sure.
And the judge was Jeffrey Crawford, and he was based out of Rutland. So they had to move me. They kept moving me from part of the reason I was moved so much in the beginning was because I had to go to court. So they had to move me to Rutland, which was closer to where Jeffrey Crawford was the judge. See, here's how it works. When the magistrate judge dictates what judge will be assigned the case.
Okay.
The magistrate judge handles the arraignments.
Gotcha.
And wherever that judge is, now in Vermont, currently there's only 2 places that federal judges sit. Burlington, which is pretty much where I live, and Rutland, which is 2 hours south of here. Now in most states, there's more than that. There's more than just 1 or 2 federal courthouses.
Right. Wow. That's crazy.
So your terror started happening there?
My terror started in St. Albans, yes, because I was writing a lot of grievances. I wasn't really fitting into the unit. I was having problems. Again, I was targeted. You know, I'm a gay man coming into the prison. They don't know who this guy is. And immediately people make assumptions because I'm not a drug dealer. And if you're not in that cult, club, whatever you want to call it, they identify you.
You're not a gang member. You're not a skinhead. You're nothing.
Right.
You don't identify.
Correct.
So because of that,
a lot of people don't know that.
Right. So then they create their own label. And then, so because you were not those things, is that how they decided that you were a pedophile?
Yes, but I find it amazing. Here's why. Because all somebody needs to know is your first and last name. They can then get on the telephone and say to their wife, look up this guy. And it's very clear if you look up my name that I have absolutely 0 sex offenses.
Yeah.
Sure.
Here's the thing. It's not, there's no amusement if the guy's a white collar crime. Like it's not fun.
Yeah.
We label this guy as a sex offender. Now we can play some games. Now it's fun. So that's why I believe I was targeted.
They don't care about the truth. They just
a lot of these guys are going to be in there for the rest of their life.
Sure.
Yeah.
So they're just creating
nothing
a game
to lose.
Well, why not? What else do they have to do?
Agree.
Yeah.
I just want people to understand their mindset towards you, and that you have no way of saying, hey, I didn't do this, fellas. You know, you can't talk to somebody in prison like that. These guys don't give a fuck. They killed people. They raped people. They did whatever, you know. They're violent people. They don't care.
Yeah, there's no, look at it this way. It's like walking up to a protester that's protesting against Donald Trump. There's just no common sense. They don't even know what they're standing for.
Right. And you
Yeah.
for surely couldn't say, hey, let me tell you why you're wrong.
But why
Yeah,
would you
yeah.
argue with somebody that has no morals, no
I
values?
agree with you.
So so you're targeted, which is horrific, and you don't fit in this unit. So then you have the prison guards themselves. Obviously, they're no ally because you're a prisoner and they're a prison guard. Do everything you see on TV, whatnot. The prison guards aren't always portrayed in the most gracious light, right? So is there any solace if you're being cornered or you're being followed? Were you able to go to a guard and say, "Hey, this is what's going on," or did they just brush you off, go back
They
to
would
where you
brush me
belong? Right?
off.
Just
I
like,
was
yeah.
writing a lot of grievances, and when you write a lot of grievances and write, you're putting a target on your back.
Okay, gotcha.
But listen, I was held
Yeah.
accountable for my actions. I'm going to hold
Sure.
other people accountable for their actions. It's
Right.
no different than when I'm identifying people in my book. There were a lot of people who said, I don't think you should be labeling, right, using sitting, and Jeffrey Crawford is still a sitting judge.
Yeah.
Michael Drescher is the U.S. attorney currently.
Wow.
Let me ask you this real quick, Matt.
John Schroeder from the IRS is still there. Mike Chow from Secret Service. They're all there. I've identified all of them.
Let me ask you this,
Wow.
just out of curiosity.
Wow.
And this is just my own ignorance. Why do the guards care that you're right? Are you writing them against them, the grievances?
Yes, because they're not
okay.
doing anything.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I wanted
like
to know
when you got-
why
so-
the guards
yeah.
weren't on your side.
So when you
now it makes sense.
So when you got raped, you obviously grievance that, like brought it to everybody's attention, and nobody did anything.
No, they didn't do anything. In fact, when I got out and I tried to hold them accountable, they're like, we don't know. It never happened.
Okay, then let me ask you the question this way.
Wow.
If you win that grievance, do one of them get in trouble? Like, are they reprimanded because they didn't protect you?
The inmate winning a grievance. Just
Yeah.
like I've never heard of an inmate winning when he's written a disciplinary report.
But that's my question, though. Do you know that is there a consequence to them?
Yeah.
No, there's not.
Okay.
No. Wow. That's
so now they're
insane,
assholes
man.
on the other side.
Yes.
Yeah, they're
because
mad
they
at you
just figure you're
stirring
an
the pot.
inmate, you fucked up. We don't, we're just being paid however many dollars an hour to watch your ass.
Yep. And you're stirring the pot. So you're a troublemaker. So we're gonna turn a blind eye to anything you say. And so of that first,
a lot of men and women that become prison guards do the same because get into that position because they want to wield power over another person.
Yeah.
No different than
yeah.
police officers, which is the biggest cult in America.
Sure, you're going to have bad apples everywhere you go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that I've heard over my lifetime that, most of the, I don't know percentage, and I'm not going to sit here and bash cops because that's not good for anybody. But a percentage of those that go into law enforcement were bullied as a child, and then when they grow up, they're all big and powerful. Now they want a position of power, so then they can be the bully themselves.
I would look at it from this direction. I think for a lot of years I thought like you did. I think it's more that there's very few bad apples, but they're so magnified because nobody talks about the police officers that do a good job every day.
That's
right?
true.
Correct.
Yeah.
You don't say that, okay, say there's 20 officers on a force and one of them's bad. We only know what that guy did. We don't say, hey, the 19 guys today, they saved an old woman from dying of a heart attack. They pulled a baby out of a burning house. But that one guy, he picked this girl up and he took her and raped her because he was a cop, right? That's the guy we're going to hear about. We're hearing about the small percentage of guards from Matt. They're out there, but you and I both know if you put 100 people in a room, what are the odds one of them is either an asshole or a complete moron?
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
And we had, and just to advocate for the prison guard side, we had a prison guard on the show.
That's why I want to make sure that,
yeah.
And I'm sure Matt encountered some good ones out there, but the bad ones made it so horrible for you that it affected your life in such a negative way. And I can understand that. Believe me, when I say my heart goes out to you for that, I just want to make it clear that we're not bashing all police officers.
Yeah,
we're not bashing all, but those few that are so bad, it just gets magnified. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed. 100% agreed. Yeah. Yeah. That's
okay.
crazy.
So where did you go from? Now you're in Vermont. You went to 9 other places after that. How did that happen?
I was writing a lot of grievances. They didn't know what to do with me.
So they just kicked you from one federal prison to another?
Correct.
Made you somebody else's problem?
Right.
For how long?
Wow.
18 months.
18 months.
Oh, you did 2 18-month stints.
Correct.
Okay.
So 9 prisons in 18 months?
10.
For the first
10.
stint? For the first stint. For your first 18.
Stint.
Okay, with the second stint. How about the first stint when you were in for 18 months?
That was all state prison in Vermont, right?
Okay,
2 different ones.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you had more problems, it sounds like, in the second time around than you did the first time?
Oh yeah, a lot more problems.
Yeah.
I mean,
now,
and when I say 18 months, I should just preface change one thing. I did a year and a half in a halfway house. So it's about 16 and a half months in federal prison and then a month and a half in a halfway house. Every inmate that goes through the federal system has to go to a halfway house. And the time that inmate does at a halfway house is all based on the sentence. So 18 months, very short time. Gotcha. 10 years, they're going to be there for a couple of years before they actually, before then they're released out to the streets.
Right. And the halfway house
was brutal too. So
let's just say it's a racket on its own, right?
That it was brutal. There was no solace for me.
Right. Well, I haven't personally had experiences with that, but I have someone I know that when they were going through rehab and stuff and drug rehab, things like that, once they got out of the facilities, they had to go to type group home, halfway house, whatever. And it was it's a shit show. So I can only imagine it being even more so with convicted felons.
Right.
Because then again, in that geography for that halfway house, it's everybody, right? It's not just, there's no,
you're not going to have excuse me, somebody that's in prison for life is not going to show.
Sure. Well, but you
have all sorts of people. It's
you're still going to have,
it's obviously all men. There's no women. Yeah. But there may be women that are working there.
But you're still going to have the violent offenders and stuff because it doesn't
absolutely,
matter.
No question.
Yeah.
And when I was at the halfway house, there was a guy that went out to work, and when he came back, he tried to sneak in a cell phone. So what happened was the U.S. Marshals ended up coming and strip searching everybody.
Oh, no.
The halfway house is still under the auspice of the U.S. Marshals. The U.S. Marshals.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because he's a federal prisoner still.
Right. Okay. So
how many people are in this house?
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow. No,
I would say about 20.
Wow.
Yeah. And like a 4-bedroom house, right?
There are 2 dormitory style rooms. And when I say dormitory, bunk beds.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, that was my experience with it. It was 4 bedrooms and you had 16 to 18 people in that 4-bedroom house. Same thing. I don't, doubled up and, everybody gets a little square in the fridge,
I don't remember any fridge, but I'm sure they were probably there. I just don't. It's not one of the priorities for me.
So was it worse being in prison or worse being in the halfway house?
That's a good question. Halfway house was.
That's what I was thinking, because at least in prison you're behind it. The door closes behind you at night. Now, when you were in prison, were you in a cell by yourself or did you share?
I did a lot of time in solitary confinement,
which is horrible.
Right. But when you're in gym pop,
I was protected.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I knew I was beat up.
Yeah.
I knew that
you wouldn't get raped. You wouldn't get pissed on. Shit thrown at you.
So that's where I started doing my studies, reading my Bible, exercising, praying. And that's really where I honed my skills, that I have that really good discipline today. Because I have a lot of friends that have issues. They can't get their mind around.
Well, that's why I said that could break a person. I think it's so admirable that now that we're getting to that part of your story, you use that time to strengthen your mind.
Right.
Which is, I think, if I could, I would try to do that myself.
As well. So the guards knew what I was doing, and then one of the facilities actually confiscated my journal entries.
Oh, fuck.
Jeez. So now they're working
Wow.
against you.
Right. And this was the same facility that I was assaulted by a sex offender. So while I was at the halfway house, I was a victim in that case against that individual. And let me tell you, when you're a victim in a jail, you are treated so much differently than a victim is treated on the outside, especially a woman.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah, because why are they going to? They're automatically going to think that you're exaggerating what actually happened because you're a convict.
Exactly.
So your credibility because of that, unfortunately, is regardless if you're telling the truth or not, is out the window. Then it's all about evidence, and with what you went through, there's probably a lot of circumstantial evidence, a lot of he said, she said, for lack of a better term there, like your word against his word. And because the prison kind of just blew it off, right? So I'm assuming you didn't go to medical after the fact and get, rape kit, all that kind of jazz, because everybody says, shut up, Matt, you're fine.
I did. And I think that's why they pursued the case.
Oh, okay. So
otherwise, they may not have done anything.
Oh, okay. So at least you had that, but then they still kind of were just like, yeah, whatever. And now what was the outcome of that, or is it still going on?
He was a sex offender. He was in there for like 20 years and he got a concurrent sentence, which means it runs the same time that he's. It doesn't do it. It's not justice,
Oh, so you won, but he just got additional time.
Well, he got a plea bargain. I mean, I don't know if that's a win. Yes.
Well, I know.
Conviction on his record.
Yeah. Yeah. See, now to me, I always kind of hold on to the fact that I think sex offenders get destroyed in prison because they're sex offenders. That's not necessarily true.
It isn't.
That's a bummer.
On any level,
I believe they should all be thrown in the Everglades.
Oh, I agree. Mike and I agree.
Let me ask you this, though, Matt. On any level, like child molesters, what was your experience with them?
Oh, I wanted nothing to do with them.
No, I mean, how were they treated? I know you
were treated. Some were not treated well, but when I was in Danbury, I was in a unit full of sex offenders.
Don told us the same thing, and Chris and I about fell out of our chairs.
Yeah.
We have this illusion that sex offenders are being treated harshly in prison, and now you're the second person to tell us that is not the case.
That's
absolutely, it's not the case at all. And I would venture to say that most sex offenders are not treated the way they should be treated.
I'm so disappointed to hear that.
I am too, man. What's wrong with our penal system, damn it?
Everybody's got a sister or a mother. Everybody's for surely got a mother, What if that was your mother somebody did that to? I would hope. I just had this vision. I don't know. Like Chris said, I
did too.
I don't know what you want to call it. I'm sorry to hear that.
I think they're coddled. I think the guards coddle them.
That's just.
And then they treated you like you've been explaining to us. It just. You were basically a paper criminal, right? Nobody got hurt.
Nobody ever got hurt. In fact, I broke so many rules, it's not funny. When I say that, so many barriers. This, again, like I said, my attorney had never seen the government go after somebody so harshly that didn't have a single victim loss.
Well, that's why I think it's important to say again that nobody got hurt. There's people that are listening to this that we've made it far enough in. They're going, he's a criminal. He stole a car. He stole some identities. Think about how we've carried this conversation. We are talking about people who have raped children, mothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, all walks of life. The people that you care about are in prison with Matt. He's being treated like a piece of shit, and they're being coddled. That makes me angry.
Yeah. I'll just quickly reference, I don't know if you know who Warren Jeffs is.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you know that there's still people today, after he's been convicted of everything that he's been convicted of that still believe he's the prophet and are still coming to his jail cell, still coming to see him. Sick ideology.
They're delusional. Ideology is the word.
Right.
Yes. And for people who don't know, Warren Jeffs was the leader of the
coddled. He's in a single cell, but yet he's getting visitors. I wasn't allowed any visitors.
That's insane, man.
It is. It's nuts. I'm blown away at the whole story.
Just insanity. So you get through the 18 months of the first stint, right? You get through the halfway house, 2004. So now we're at what, 2007?
No, we've already done the second stint. It's now 2018, and I'm out.
Okay. So I must have missed that. So when you got out of the first 18 months, that was 2006-ish, right? By the time
that was 2005.
Done? Okay. So how did you end up going back? Was that the aggravated identity theft stuff?
I couldn't pass the background check, so I was using other people's ID.
And that wasn't until 2009, right? You said?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So, and the reason
I had actually stopped. I had done that in 2009, and then I stopped doing it.
Okay.
And they pursued you for
me.
That was that was a 6-year thing. Okay, gotcha. That was a 6-year thing. Okay, you're giving us so much information. In my head, I was like, wait a minute.
I got lost for a second too, so I'm glad you did that.
So much information that a lot of people get confused, and I don't mean to do that.
No, you're fine. We're with you now.
Yeah. So
you did 2018, you're out. How has your life been since then? Like reacclimating yourself to society. How did you do that? I've done that myself, so I'm curious of your story.
Typically, the shortest probation supervision sentence is 3 years.
Okay.
That's the shortest amount of time. Okay. I had asked after a year and a half to be released. The Shelburne News put a story in the paper that I was asking to be released early. And every single time that's a defendant asked to be released from supervision, it's always turned down the first time. Always.
Why is that? Just
the
automatic?
Second time I was granted it.
Okay.
But as usual, Michael Dretcher's fighting vehemently against it, just like always. I mean, that's what the U.S. attorney does. They don't want anybody to be released off of supervision. They make money. It's a money-making scam.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that the difference between federal and state is you sign a document. We have to write out what we did every single week. We have to get passes. And at the bottom of that is you are signing and agreeing that this is accurate. And if it's not, they can charge you with perjury. So that's the huge difference with federal versus state. State, there's a lot more leeway.
Okay.
In the federal system, everything that you do is being tracked. There's a lot of things that you have to sign, you have to agree to, and if you lie about the smallest thing, they can charge you with perjury. And I'm going to be a prime target. Like, this is what these guys live for. They live for convictions.
And you're a 2-time felon, right?
I have more convictions than that. Yes.
Okay. So how many convictions do you have
now?
Yeah.
That haven't been expunged or sealed?
Well, just in general, in your lifetime, how many convictions?
A lot. An awful lot.
More than 10?
Okay.
Well, you have to ask the question because all of my state crimes have been either sealed or expunged.
Oh, okay. So under 8, were they because of the age?
That's just in the last year I've worked my tail off with working with the current state's attorney in getting my
record cleaned up,
records sealed. Now, there's a difference between sealed and Expunge means it's gone.
Right.
All the courts can see is the docket number.
Okay.
Sealed means only the courts and law enforcement can see the convictions.
Okay. Oh, okay. So an employer going to get hired with somebody,
right?
Background checks. The reason you're doing that is so you can get back to life and get a job and be a productive member of society.
That's the state side. The federal side, there is no remediation. In other words, you cannot get any charges removed, with the exception of a presidential pardon, which I've been trying to get for 15 years.
Okay.
So once you have a federal conviction, that's it. You're done. It's on your record forever.
Correct.
That's
okay.
Stupid.
So we started this episode of the Chris and Mike Show. There was no underlying drug use. There was no underlying.
I've never had a drug addiction.
Right. Well, that's why I'm bringing it up, man.
Right.
There was no drug use. There was no alcoholism. You just did this shit for the thrill. You got high off the act.
Yes.
Like,
I have some good friends that have told me that have had affairs that have had a rush doing that.
Yeah. Well,
I can empathize with them. I'm like, I got a rush driving 130.
Yeah.
There's a rush.
Well, yeah, because you're breaking the law. And it's that, is it the rush of, is it, okay, I don't know how to ask this question. Is the rush from the act itself, or is it the rush from the fact that you can possibly get caught and get just, screwed over from a legal standpoint? Like you steal a car, right? You don't, let's go to the 130 miles an hour thing, right? You're doing 130 miles an hour. Mike's got 120 miles an hour in his car, I'm sure.
I've gone way faster than that.
I've hit that. I don't think I've ever hit 130, but my wife's SUV, every now and then I look down like, holy shit, I'm doing 100. But you can't tell.
I love going fast.
I didn't purposely go out. I'm going to do 100 miles an hour. So did you purposely go out? It's like, I'm going to get this thing to 130 just for as long as I can.
Yeah.
Was that the rush?
I wanted to see how fast I could go.
Okay. So that was the rush
Caravan
of it.
to 130 miles an hour.
Oh yeah.
Kudos to Dodge.
That's fantastic. So it's the act itself is the adrenaline rush and the high that you get performing that act, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I listened to a lot of drug addicts when I was in prison, and
obviously
all have the same. They all say
talking to one.
Yeah.
They all say the same thing. I just need one more fix. I just want to do it one more time. And that's the way I was. Like, I just want to go 130 one more time, and then I'll stop.
Okay.
I just want to steal one more car, then I'll stop. I just want to drive off without paying, just one more time, then I'll stop. It's the same. Right. That's how we do life.
You want it to feel like it felt the first time.
Right.
That's every drug addict's mantra. I always wanted it to feel like it did the first time. Mm-hmm. You're never going to get that again. It's just, that's the dragon, right? You're chasing the dragon, I say.
So I don't experience that because it's not a drug.
Right. Right. But I think what Mike's alluding to is like you said, the drug addicts that you listen to the drug stories, they do one more time, just one more time, just one more time. Like I knew somebody that it got to the point in their heroin abuse and meth abuse, it wasn't so much the high they were chasing, it was the thrill of sticking the needle in their arm to see if that was going to kill them or not. As fucked up as it is. So they weren't no longer chasing the high, they were chasing the adrenaline was when the needle pierced, because then you don't know what happens after that. That was that high.
The act of doing it.
Right. So that's kind of what I was getting at. It's the act of doing it that was getting you that endorphin rush, the dopamine rush, whatever you want to call it.
Rush for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It was, I can, like a confidence man, like, right. I can go con this guy out of, $1,000 or $100,000. It doesn't matter. I'm still conning somebody, manipulating them, controlling them to get what my end game is, which is this.
And for them, it's not the end game. It's the chase through the whole process. It's a chase. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the guys I've told you about that have the affair. There's a rush.
Absolutely.
Else doesn't know I'm cheating. Can I get away with it? I'm just going to tell one lie and, I'll get away with it. She won't know where I'm going.
And a large majority of those people which is crazy, but a large majority of them would tell you after it's over, they feel horrible, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because then the conscience comes in. It's kind of like shoplifting, right? You shoplift just to see if you can stick it to the man, right? Can I get away with it? And then you kind of just,
but they chase that dopamine high,
right,
versus the negative feelings they have afterwards. The dopamine is far more rewarding than the negative feelings are afterwards.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think any addict in your situation, Matt, I think we were all in the same boat in that, you know, we fell on the wrong side of that adrenaline rush.
Keep talking. Right back.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. I mean, if I hadn't ever done this, I hadn't ever gotten that rush, there would be no need to steal the car.
Right. And you said it in the beginning of the show. Chris and I got up on that stage because it was an adrenaline rush. Because if you think about it, I used to think about this consciously. What gave me the right to even be up there, right? Why am I any better than the people who are standing in the crowd? My mind works really weird. So I think things all the way through to down to the bone, right? How does this work? So I would feel like I shouldn't be up there. But then I would be reminded that I had a talent that very few people had, and these people came to see me play and snap out of it and do it, right? That was my adrenaline rush. I liked the volume. I liked being up there with my brothers and doing something that very few people can do.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm glad that my adrenaline rush was a positive experience until I became a drug addict. So that was a negative side, of course. In that, I fell into the same boat that you did, and I could have just as easily gone down that road, you know? I can think of an evening in particular, I 100% would have ended up in prison. It was just whatever. The universe aligned that night, and I got to get away with something that I shouldn't have. But I had resigned myself to the fact I was going to end up going down the same road you did. Right in that moment in time, I said, this is it. You know, my train just stopped. The party came to an end. Whatever, you know, my mother would tell you it's divine intervention. I would just tell you that the stars aligned. Whatever, you know, they didn't find the drugs. They didn't notice that I had been up for 7 days and I drove away. That's why I feel for you. I could have just as easily ended up in that position. So I'm glad that he's finding people who have been down this road. It's near and dear to my heart. I could have just as easily been there. I just want you to know that. You know, I'm no better than you. You're no better than me. Chris is no better than us. We're all human beings. You know, everybody deserves a chance to right the ship and do things the right way. And I'm so glad that Chris brought it up again. You didn't hurt anybody. Nobody was affected in any way. Nobody showed up and said, Matt ruined my life and I will never be the same. Not once.
Right.
You stole a car and you stole some people's identity, but they never got hurt because you did the work.
Correct.
You weren't stealing money from them. It's not like you were pilfering their Social Security.
Right.
That's important for these people that are listening to this show to know when they go back and listen to it again, because that's what I would do if I got to this point and I had a different opinion. I feel for you, dude. I'm so glad you came on here to tell your story. Where is your life at this point?
Well, I'm trying to
Welcome back.
my story so nobody has to go through what I went through. I wrote my
You wrote a book, right?
It was cathartic, and I wanted to share that this kind of situation just doesn't occur in Chicago. It happened in a small town in Vermont. You know, I haven't even spoken about Aaron Noble, who was the former chief of police of Shelburne, who I also believe was a key instrument in why I was persecuted so heavily. That individual received a $200,000 payout in 2022 to just go away.
So, yeah, you wrote a book about this, right?
I wrote a book called Bully Behind Bars, A Gay Christian Trump Supporter Goes to Prison. And I outlined all of it.
Okay, yeah, but so when I
That's a
say
great
I don't,
title, by the way.
right?
People that I know in my life that would identify people in high level seats like I do.
Okay, so we want to pitch your book. I don't want you to give the book away because we want people to go buy the book and read it. So your book is basically a summary of everything you've shared with us for this last hour.
Well,
right?
It starts with my childhood. I mean, we haven't spoken about my childhood, but
sure.
it was I was bullied throughout most of my
Right. But don't give it away.
schooling.
Don't give away all the stuff because we
Right.
want people to buy your stuff.
Right.
when that's the thing, like love that you wrote a book, but I want people to buy your book. So
And he's so right when we do this real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
When people are selling a book,
Mhm.
you don't want to give too much away because obviously we want people to go buy your book. On the flip side, when people are promoting music, we want them to play the shit out of it, right? Because
Yeah.
people gravitate towards music they've heard. They
Right.
won't buy your book if you tell them the whole story. He's 100% right.
Right. That's, I wasn't cutting you off to be a jerk. I want people to go buy your book. So where can we find the book?
It's on Amazon. I
Okay.
self-published,
Okay.
which
nice.
is a lot harder than
It is. Agreed.
people think.
Chris has
And
done
what's the book called again?
Bully Behind Bars, a gay Christian
Bully.
Trump
Hold on.
supporter
Hold on.
goes-
Bully behind bar. There it is. Second one. That's awesome. Okay. Hold on. Well, there it is. Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm going to share this because this is what we do. It's it's funny when I typed it in, all kinds of gay Trump supporting stuff popped up. So there it is, boys and girls. Bullied behind bars, a gay Christian Trump supporter goes to prison. Released paperback February 13th, 2022. Matthew Melvin. This is Matthew Melvin. There's a little synopsis, which if you have been paying attention to the show the whole time, that's good synopsis there. Well, here's the back cover, which is always fun. There's Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hey, we know that, dude.
Yeah. How long is the book? How many pages?
137.
Okay, that's a good read then. That's a nice read.
Congratulations
long.
on writing that, by the way. That's a huge
absolutely.
accomplishment.
How cathartic was that experience? Was it good to purge and kind of just get it off your soul?
It was.
Yeah. Now, since that's come out, because that was it's almost what, 5 years now, right? When it came out, 4 years. What was the response for people that you? Because, and again, don't drop names, but the people that you talk about in the book, did it shine some light on some of the corruption and some of the weird things that were going on surrounding your cases? Did you get any?
So.
Did you get any kickback from people like, oh, Matt, you're just full of shit, or was it like, wow, that's crazy?
Oh yeah, I mean, I had people in the community who asked me why I would write a book that was self and aggrandizing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So they didn't hear the message, obviously.
No, obviously.
Yeah.
So you should try to get this thing to a Netflix documentary, man. That would be interesting.
Your
as hell to
story is
watch.
so, I
right.
couldn't agree with you more. 100%. Your story's compelling, man. It just is. I feel for you.
Yeah.
I did way worse in my life as a drug addict and could have hurt somebody way worse than you ever did. I'm just fascinated that the fact that you didn't, it's not like you stole that car, drove 130 miles an hour and killed a family on the road. Right.
Yeah. No, I heard all that too, by the way, when I had to step away. I heard your entire conversation. That was very poignant. The elements you were touching on there, Mike.
Thank you.
And Matt. Yeah.
I just,
I
I feel for him. I just feel like I've done way worse in my life that could have ended up in the same position and it would have been warranted and justified. Right. I was doing supposedly the crimes, but this guy didn't hurt anybody ever. And again, I don't want to give away too much of the book, but was this learned behavior or was this just something you realized one day as a kid, like, oh, if I go, steal this Twinkie from the store, I get it for free. And then, oh, there's that rush, there's the first time you did something bad, this, everything went off in your head. Like, oh, I like how this makes me feel.
Yeah, it was an adrenaline rush, no question.
Okay. And it wasn't, so back to what I started with the question, it wasn't learned behavior, like you didn't have somebody in your life that was doing those type of things and
I did not.
Do you remember the first thing you did? Yeah. Remember the first thing you
grew up in
did?
a family. Nobody in my family's ever been to prison. I don't have any generational history of people going to prison.
Right.
Mom and dad were married?
Say that again?
Your mom and dad
married.
lived in the house, went to work?
Married for 50-something years. My father's a conservative and my mother's been is a liberal, 30 years of indoctrination from the University of Vermont, can really do a number on anybody.
Okay.
What kind of relationship do you have with them?
It's always been fractured.
Strained.
And I got a lot of blowback from family members about sharing my story.
I can see that. It's hard enough in this world to be openly gay, and then to be just put it out there in your book, bully behind bars, a gay Trump supporter, here I am, world, right?
And then
but that's who he is.
Now,
yeah,
I deal with people that will send me a message on Instagram. I've never heard of a gay Christian.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good for you.
I have.
Yeah.
I had another guy who said,
well, now you should see, now you have.
There's whole churches of them. Move to the city, you freaking backwoods. Explore the country a little bit. It's big.
I've just seen so many ridiculous things that come through social media about.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
People
just ignore that shit.
Here's the thing. If you've never experienced something, it's foreign to you.
Or if you can't say it to my face, right?
Yeah.
You want to come and say something to my face?
Keyboard warriors.
You won't do it.
Yep. No. We had
sit behind a computer and you're a coward. That's why I always tell people, if you have an issue with me, come tell it to my face.
Yeah.
You know what a coward does? Coward blocks you. That's what a child does.
Yep.
Agreed.
Well, that's
children.
That's the world now.
Won't you realize that when you block somebody, you are holding yourself hostage, because you're not gonna forget about it.
Oh,
you're not gonna forget when you block somebody.
I like that. That's cool.
You're
that's
so right, man. That is very cool. And I've thought about that. Like, if somebody blocks me, I'm like, good for you. Now you're never going to know what I'm doing, and that's going to bother you forever.
Right.
I win.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't bother me at all. I'm going to sleep. I might not sleep, but it won't be because of that.
Well, until I forgave the people who had done me wrong, that's where I finally got free of the anger, hatred, hostility I had.
Don't gloss over that point. That is so true. Forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. It's so that you can move on.
Right. Yeah. Because when you don't forgive, you are allowing somebody else to live rent-free in your head.
That might be the most poignant statement you've made in this entire show, man. That is so true.
Yeah. So let's leave the most poignant statement made in the show with that and share your book again. Boys and girls, you want to find Matt Melvin's book. It's Bullied Behind Bars, a Gay Christian Trump Supporter Goes to Prison. You can find it on Amazon, $23.99 paperback.
And it looks like it's 315 pages. I wonder where I got 137, but
it's okay. Still, 313 is still good, man. It's, we still want people to buy your book, because that's where you came on here, not only share your story, but for us to kind of, promote you and get your message out there and your book out there. Is there any plans to write another one? Did you get it all
I get
out
asked that all the time.
Right. Well, that's why I asked it, man.
If you follow me on Instagram, Bullied Behind Bars, you can see poems I've written.
Okay. Right on.
Nice.
We'll follow you. We'll make sure we follow you for sure.
Absolutely. Are you following us on Instagram?
I don't think so. No, I don't even know if I know your Instagram handle.
We're the Christian Mike Show everywhere.
I'll send you an email. Usually when people reach out to come to the show, I send them the first email kind of explains everything with all our social media links. So I'll send you that. You respond back with your stuff, and then we'll share all your stuff, vice versa.
Or you can go to the ChrisandMikeShow.com. Anybody can do that, and you can get to every social media link we're on from there. So,
yeah,
because I definitely want to follow you.
ChrisandMikeShow.com.
Yes, everybody go to the ChrisandMikeShow.com.
Yeah, Mike just made that over the holidays.
I'm pretty damn proud of it. It turned out good.
One of those things, man. Matt, it's been great talking to you, man. You have just an amazing story. I'm going to buy your book because I think it'll be a fascinating read.
Absolutely.
Need to get you a documentary going on, man, because that would be a hell of a story to watch.
how comfortable do you feel? How comfortable do you feel talking about your childhood, 0 to? Obviously, you wrote it in the book, right? Would you come back and like give us that? I'd like to hear your backstory that led you. Chris kept trying to get that out of you, but I think that story is another hour or so.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
I didn't know what you were trying to.
No, you're fine. I would just like to have you back if you would be willing to talk about that, because I think that's important for people to understand. Like he was getting at what makes somebody the person they become, right?
Right. Like, so we won't go down the path, but I had a very unique childhood, we'll call it, and I could have gone two ways. I went the way I went. I could have gone the other way.
100%.
Which would have been dark and destructive. But that's the thing. So, I am who I am today because my childhood shaped me to the person I was. And I was lucky enough to have the creative outlet pulled out of me from a teacher, and then realized, oh, I can use that to purge all the darkness.
The world is lucky too, because I don't think what they understand is if you had gone down the other side, that would have been ugly for the world, because you're talking to a guy who will self-admit he lacks empathy, right? That's something he learned through his life, but it wasn't built into him. So he's going to react differently than most people to situations that are unique, to a lot of folks. So had he gone down the dark road, it would have been ugly for sure. I think that's an important point. You would have been notorious.
Darkness, man. So Matt Melvin, go on Amazon, find his book, The Bully Behind Bars. A gay Christian Trump supporter goes to prison. And seriously, if you want to come back on and we can talk about what led up to 2004, that would be fascinating. And again, like Mike said, it's how comfortable you are talking about that. And again, we don't want to give away too many elements from the book, so we want people to buy your book.
I'm more interested in the dichotomy of his family to him.
Yeah. I think that would be fascinating too. So if you're down with that, we'll connect off the show and set it up, have you come back on, and we can spend another hour or so picking your brain and having a good conversation. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Right on.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, thank you very much, dude. This was more than I hoped it would be. When I read your biography, I was like, oh, this will be fun, and it was.
It exceeded my expectations too.
The hour went by like that, which tells you how great the conversation was. We are in the show like this every time. So if you're depressed, you're feeling suicidal, go find somebody to talk to. If you can't do that, go scream in a pillow, go out and run, go work out, do something that purges your mind of that frustration that you're feeling and the sorrow that you're feeling. Text 988. Somebody is there standing by waiting to talk to you, to help talk you off that cliff. Tomorrow's a better day because you wake up in it. Somebody does love you, even though you don't believe that. So be mindful of that. And until next time, we'll see you on the Chris and Mike Show. I'm Chrissy's Mike, and that's Matt Melvin. Thanks, everybody. Love you, brother.
Love you too, man. Thanks, Matt.
Peace.
Peace.
moments, listen to your sin, fight the bad.